Justin Bieber just released a very Birkenstock looking mule that's not cheap by any means. And we've seen over and over again these celebrities using their name to sell really terrible footwear product especially. I don't even know if we've seen a celebrity product that was good. We've even seen recently with the Tyler the Creator collaboration being absolute trash. So is Biebs the one that can pull it off? Is this actually a good mule? Is it something new and different? Is it boundary pushing? Is it more than just a celebrity endorsement? Or is this another multi-millionaire celebrity cash grab where they literally don't need any additional money, but they're using you and selling you a terrible product at an extremely high price just to make more money off it? So that's what we're gonna figure out by cutting them in half and comparing them to the classic Birkenstock clogs that I'm wearing right now. So first, what is this shoe? Well, the brand is SKYLRK. The style is the Sunken Mule. They weigh 7.5 ounces. They retail for 140 bucks, which is not cheap for a mule. They're made in Vietnam, and the way they position this product is open back mule with suede upper and rubber outsole, low profile silhouette with a rounded toe, cushioned insole, logo detail on lateral upper. That's the other thing that drives me nuts about celebrity collaborations is they don't ever really even tell you anything about it. Like they just, I don't know if it's just because they want to use their name to sell the product, and like it's good enough, we don't need to position this, or if it's because they don't want to make any claims that's going to make them look bad if someone literally cuts their collaboration in half. Compare that to Birkenstock mules. So the brand is Birkenstock. The style, we're going to look at a couple of them because we've got the Bostons and we also have the Londons that I already have cut in half. We're going to use that as a cross section, but we're mostly going to be comparing it to the Bostons. They retail for $170, so actually more expensive than the SKYLRKs by the Biebs. And the way they position this product is so classic and consistently comfortable. The Boston clog has become a coveted year-round favorite, which is true. I wear mine nonstop. Velvety suede lends an effortless feel to the style, featuring an additional foam layer for cushioning. Its soft footbed offers extra comfort plus go all day support. Really not even that big of a positioning thing by them either. They have a lot more information with their details, but pretty basic positioning too. But how does the leather actually compare? Because the Birkenstocks have surprisingly good leather. A lot of times it's not even a suede like they say. It's mostly a nubuck that's flipped to the rough side out, and that partial grain that got sanded down is flipped to the inside, makes it nice and smooth, and it protects that grain to the inside. Gives you that nice like suede look without having to deal with the extra bagginess and stretch of suede. How's it compare to the SKYLRKs? Actually surprisingly similar. They are different thicknesses. The Birkenstocks are really thick at 2.5 millimeters thick versus the SKYLRKs are only 2 millimeters thick, but still pretty thick. And that's about the minimum thickness you want if you're not gonna line it in any way. They do feel a little bit different in how dry they are and maybe the quality to some degree, but honestly, very similar quality. I honestly thought this was gonna be fake leather, but I think it's on par. These are all of our handmade wallets that we sew right here in the shop, cut out right here in the shop, and we don't use sewing machines. We do it the old school way with the saddle sewing technique that they use to make saddles instead of the sewing machine. It's one piece of thread, 2 needles, and weaving in and out of the thread, all the various colors from tan, light brown, medium brown, dark brown, and black. But more importantly, the various wallets. So starting with the smallest and the first, the one that really launched the brand on Kickstarter, the Clog wallet, 2 pockets, 1 shorter pocket and a bigger pocket behind with the rolled edge so you can hold more cards. Same thing with the slim wallet, it's just a redesign of this. Same concept, 2 pockets, rolled edge for the bigger pocket. Then the Big Daddy version of the Slim, the SBB, that we actually made this pattern for the shattered backboard cut in half way early in the YouTube days, but it has 2 card pockets in the front and that bigger cash pocket with the rolled edge. Then to the Swayze, the one I use probably most every single day. So it's got 4 card pockets so you can really partition off and separate your cards. And if that's not enough card room and you want a little cash room, you can go to the Togo. 2 big pockets where you can store cash folded once and 4 card pockets. If you're old school and you want the traditional bifold, same concept here, but you've got 6 cash pockets with these little hidden pockets back here and that cash slot there, traditional bifold. And the biggest daddy of them all, the travel wallet, a little spot for your boarding pass and your passport, your ID, all your credit cards, all the junk that you're gonna accumulate on the trip, even this little hidden pocket right there. So check these all out below. And if you look on the inside, you can see the Birkenstocks, they do have a little bit of a toe stiffener. And on these SKYLRKs, I don't see any toe stiffener in there. So I think it's literally just a single piece of leather, which fine by me because on my Birkenstocks, I can sometimes start wearing that out and it starts to make a flap. But you do lose that toe structure. And over time, your toes are gonna make imprints in this that's gonna show pretty obviously from the outside. I don't think it matters that to many people. And so honestly, if I was to choose between the two, would I rather have the structured toe of the Birkenstock or the unstructured toe of the SKYLRKs? I'd probably choose the SKYLRK. So not bad, Biebs. What about the footbed? Because the footbed of the Birkenstocks is a classic. It's a leather footbed, and I believe it's just a suede. I don't think it has the grain in it, but it's flipped to the fuzzy side up, so you get all that grip underneath your foot. And then you can see with my pair, it slowly just wears into the shape of your foot, smooths out, and you can rough it back up if you want when you clean it. And that footbed leather is just a little under 2 millimeters thick, so plenty thick, but you still have people wear it through the heel from time to time. And the biggest failure point of all Birkenstocks, which I don't know why they haven't fixed this, is right here around the heel. No matter how careful you are, you're gonna have missing chunks and it slowly starts to wear down. I wish they would just wrap the heel with something to prevent that. But how's that compare to the SKYLRKs? Well, this looks like a nice suede leather underneath your foot. Then we put the flame to it and it melted. So the one piece of material that they should have kept as leather, the footbed, they didn't. They made it out of a cheap fake leather. It's basically just like a microfiber cloth. I took a knife and just cut a little cross section to see how thick it is, and it's really, really thin. And so not only do you not get the durability of leather and the smell reduction of leather, but instead you get all the inverse of that. They smell more, they wear out faster, and I guarantee it's only a matter of time before you wear through that heel. Because this is basically like standing on a piece of fabric instead of a big chunky piece of suede leather. So that is a bummer, because that's probably the most important part of the entire shoe. From a wearability, from the smell, from the longevity, and for $140, why would you cheap out on the most important part? Because even the upper, you know, if you look at the difference between the amount of wear and abuse of the upper, that's gonna get some pinching, some rolling, some folding, some abuse from the outside, but you compare that to a human body with sweat and dirt and grime with hundreds of pounds of pressure in every single step, slowly, probably actually quickly wearing this insole out. That is a terrible choice. Biebs, come on. I was actually pretty hyped about this shoe until this moment, because underneath of it, you can see how squishy this is. And that's one of the biggest complaints with Birkenstock, is that they are really hard underneath your foot. And that's because if you look at the cross section, you can see it's a big slab of cork. And it is real natural cork, and it has rubber infused into it. It has literal burlap layers to structure it. And so over time, it slowly compresses the shape of your foot. It still gives you a little bit of squish and bounce in every step, but it is really hard. You know, it's very similar to the concept of veg tan leather and heritage boots. It takes a while to break in, and once they're broken in, they're really comfortable. But the first couple months can be pretty tough. And so that might be the biggest flaw to some people with Birkenstocks, even though some people like that rigid support. But with these, all you're doing is pushing into that fake leather more and more. So every time you take a step, that extra squish of the foam is slowly starting to tear apart that fabric that you're standing on instead of having the strength of leather. And the price difference, it's not gonna be that big of a difference. You know, maybe the manufacturing makes it a lot harder, but if you're gonna put your name on a product, you think you would care a little bit about the quality. But we don't know for sure. Maybe there's some layers underneath of that. Maybe there's some structured layers underneath that first layer of foam. But maybe the biggest difference between these shoes is the regular Birkenstocks have this EVA outsole that's cemented on. It locks in that upper that's tucked underneath, gives you just a little bit of squish, actually gives you a decent amount of grip. They do wear out fairly quickly, but they're not fast by any means. Like, I've had these for a few years. And you compare that to the SKYLRKs, this is a lot more of a modern shoe where you've got basically a cup sole that encapsulates that foam midsole, I think, and then it's just cemented together. Let's find out the truth. Is there anything redeeming in the SKYLRKs at all? Is there any hidden value that would make it worth $140 and not make it look like another sellout product by a celebrity that literally doesn't need any money? Let's find out. This right here is my favorite child. But this right here is my dad's least favorite child. But there's still some hope for us, because you can get a brand new Rose Ammo product made right here in the shop at 25% off. But you also get an apology letter to try to win back some love of your dad. So 25% off until Monday. Check it out below. All right, Justin Bieber, let's see what you got for your mule. And if you're not subscribed, not specifically Justin Bieber, but you guys that are watching, give us a like, give us a subscribe, because that's how we hold these brands accountable. That's how we hold these celebrities accountable, because it happens over and over and over again. And now, let's see what's inside. So what is on the inside? Just a lot of foam. That's fine. I was maybe just hoping for something redeeming on the inside somewhere that made these worth $140, but it's just literally just really, really soft foam. Here's your durometer measurement. We ran the ball and bar drop test with these results. So it is extra comfortable. It's a lot more responsive. It's gonna be a lot more comfortable for the brief amount of time that you have with the shoe before you tear through that super thin layer of fabric. You're literally standing on fabric on a $140 shoe. And it's not just a fabric topped insole, because you can excuse that. It's really popular in regular shoes. But the nice thing about that is they're removable. So when you wear through that, you just throw a new insole in, maybe a saddle sole, I don't know, maybe boot breaker. But with these, it's permanent. So once you wear through that, it's gonna start peeling apart, it's gonna start falling apart, you're gonna get down into the foam, and that's a horrible decision for a shoe over $50. Because I'm sure this was not on the top of Justin Bieber's priority list to make sure it represents him and his brand and everything he's done. And I think that's where these collaborations fall short, is they just don't care. They're just trying to make a few extra bucks when they already have all all the money in the world, and they're trying to make it off of your back. And I don't think this is the absolute worst. You know, if it did have that leather insole, I'd be pretty hyped about it. So there's gonna be some people that just don't care. They're not gonna wear these extensively. They maybe just want them as house slippers, or they just want them for the Justin Bieber thing. And that's a bummer, because it's a cool concept. It's like a more evolved version of the Birkenstocks. It's more simple. It kind of cleans up the lines. It solves some of the problems with Birkenstocks, makes it a little more modern, a little more comfortable, and they screwed it up with one material. So thank you guys for your support, because that's the only way that we can hold these brands and these celebrities accountable, to show you what you're actually spending your hard-earned money on, instead of just hoping for the best and trusting celebrities. So thank you guys. See ya.